And the races are off.
Yep, the races are off now.
So, looking at the bingo board, there are a few early goals. False Knight and Brooding Moloch, and check for free all grubs in Green Path and Fungal. So the players may try to rush those. We'll see.
Right now, I'm looking over all the goals to see which ones are random checks that will need to be found randomly and which ones aren't.
Oh, and Ventricling and Massive Monstrator
That is a very
is an
early
early goal.
goal. We have 2 early goals that aren't random based, that come pretty much hand in hand, both coming down to killing 2 particular bosses.
We're gonna get a fear check from both players. This is a potentially skippable check to hopefully get a early goal.
Or an early progression item, which can always be found later in the run, and very specifically as an addition to the map, they have added steps to let players actually get back up. This is to stop any early progression items being closed off and prevent a soft log pretty much occurring, especially on easy.
Shaman Stone and Iselda, which could be interesting. However, homothety doesn't decide to take it, which seems reasonable given he doesn't have any spells.
However,
And it
Shaman
doesn't.
Stone is a very important asset, considering the fact that spells, especially early on, without any nail upgrades, are extremely powerful. Homothety checking grubs, right? Queen Station Stag, which means that... and Elegant Key. So Queen Station, if they don't find Dash early on, they could easily get to Queen Station somehow through that. But mostly, it's probably just a useless item at grub. Elegant Key, on the other hand, opens up a check, and even though not in this case, it would open up another sword.
No one's rushing Moloch and False Knight goal, which is
I admire that.
even stopping to check grab.
Considering the fact that Morlock technically isn't even in easy difficulty logic until later on, due to him being being under the mini boss category, like most dreams. Them waiting for some sort of extra damage isn't too far-fetched.
Nothing at crossroads.
Also, this is the second time today that we have the False Knight plus Brooding Morlock go on the board. Last race, last race it also appeared, and in that race Meatbag decided not to get it, and decided to do other checks instead. And the race ended up quite close, and Meatbag had the chance to win it, but he choked it at the end. Anyways, Homothety going on to False Knight now. False Knight has 3 checks that you can have, one being the city crest that he has on him, and the other being another being the chest behind him. And the one final check that you have that you don't need any external items for is Vengeful Spirit.
Homothety with a slight lead on False Knight. Maybe a little bit more than slight.
So far, homothety has the lead over Tharp, although they are quite close together at the moment.
Ooh,
Mantis
interesting.
Claw at Vengeful Spirit. That opens up Soul Catcher.
Oh my, an early
Soul
goal.
Eater at Soul Catcher, so that's an early goal. And
Homothety deciding
Homothety
not to
going
go.
straight away to Cliffs, which I would do the same, to be honest, because Cliffs has a ton of goals that you can, not goals, a ton of checks that you can easily get to quite early.
Homothety
Far probably
skipping
seeing that
Brooding Maw.
Soul Eater or Soul Catcher is at Soul was connected by Homothety. He is doing the same exact thing as Homothety, going over to Cliffs.
Both racers ignore the False Knight Brooding Molecule for a few more checks. Interesting play.
Love Key at... Okay, I mix these two up all the time because I always mix up Matto and Oro. This is Oro, I believe.
This is Mato.
Matto, okay. Again, I mix these two up all the time. At Matto, we have Love Key, not on the board, and neither is Collector, so although it doesn't lead to a goal, it could be extremely useful. Homothety going for Darkroom.
Giving us some content.
And going headfirst into some spikes after trying to kill all of the enemies. Farb deciding to do the Brooding Morlik goal. I wonder if he's forgetting. You can climb up to the Brooding Morlik platform with Claw, can't you? Now, once again, both races are technically doing out of logic checks, as Morlik isn't in logic until you get either Vengeful Spirit or Howling Wraiths. Homothety giving up on Darkroom as well.
Oh god.
And Cloak is at... Damn. Homothety with Cloak now has a bit of an advantage over Farb. Verticality normally is the thing that opens up most goals, but horizontal movement is always helpful in the fact that it lets you get around way fast.
If he finds wings here, I swear.
Uh, If he does, then going for this goal would have been way more beneficial than going to Dark Room like Homothety is doing. Anyways, Homothety doing it way quicker now with Moth and Cloak. And Brooding Morlock was nothing. Just as Joni's blessing. I've just noticed that I forgot to update the tracker. Sorry about that. It should be updated quite soon.
Tharp about to find Moth and Cloak. Tharp choosing not to do the Dark Room.
Okay, now that the tracker is set up as intended. Homothety getting Vengeful King extremely quick. And now we see both races taking their own paths. Homothety going down from Boulder Shell into Green Path, whilst Tharp is taking the path through Crossroads into Fungal. And Homothety finding Dream Nail and Vengeful Spirit at Green Path Stag.
I promise
Not only
Moth that he
does
didn't choose
it-
to see.
Homothety is rando, man. We can never predict anything that he does. So. And Homothety skipping the dialogue on Hornet by damaging her as soon as he gets in. Homothety is truly a force to be reckoned with. And dash / at Hornet. Tharp having a bit of trouble with Shroomal Ogres. But they do lead to a Lifeblood Charm, which means that Tharp is now halfway there to obtaining 2 Lifeblood Charms, which is very important. Tharp remembering about the relic and returning to get it. A lot of people forget about this one.
Oh,
And
nice.
finding Howling Wraiths and oh wow.
Tharp finding
A
something
lot of
Moth hasn't
early
yet.
progression items.
Just a note, both players have skipped Sly and Salubra so far.
And Homothety doesn't know what is at Leggy to neither, as he hasn't come to Fungal Waste yet. Homothety finding Defender's Crest. Sadly, Dung Defender has a goal overboard, but it doesn't require you to have Defender's Crest, so overall this charm is quite useless for this board. Farp going to Fog Canyon. He's probably going to a relic in the Lifeblood room. He is also technically able to check Overgrown Grotto. And homothety starting the fight against Massive Moss Charger. And now, knowing that Massive Moss Charger is an absolute joke, he beats it. And that's 2 to homothety.
Oh, interesting.
Shade Cloak. Now, with Shade Cloak, Farp has access to the rest of Queen's Gardens, but I don't know if he's going to use this to his advantage and do all the checks in Queen's Gardens whilst he can. Or he could easily avoid Queen's Gardens at the moment due to their more difficult nature. He does, however, have Howling Wraiths, so he's not totally powerless.
Even with homothety's luck, homothety isn't clearly winning yet. You have to remember that, so we're still very...
Especially since not many randomized goals are on the board, and one of which has already been picked up by homothety. The only other ones that I can see on the board being obtained through Lifeblood Charms, which Farp is closer to than homothety, obtaining Shade Soul, which of course homothety has already gotten Vengeful Spirit, so he's already part. And obtain Glowing Womb or Weaver Song, which is completely random, and any player can get it. homothety also doing Fungal Waste now.
Homothety gets Mark of Pride. I don't see it on the board anywhere.
Not on the board today, but it is always a good charm to have. Farp seemingly going to Mantis Village. Oh wait, no, he's lost his shade. No, homothety has the Lifeblood Core charm. Farp, for some reason, agitating the... what are they called? Those... Anyways, Farp is checking Mantis Village, and it's nothing. Farp is going to the right of Mantis Village, probably getting Dash Master and Beretta. Again, two checks that I don't see any issue with, especially since on the way he is able to get the chest, he is able to get the bench, and therefore have a way of bench warping. This will be very helpful once he finally decides to beat the Mantis, which he could honestly do at the moment. Farp not saving Breda. And homothety catching up on the Queen Path checks. I mean, not on the fungal waste checks Farp was doing earlier. Doing them way more efficiently than Farp. And homothety died whilst in Mantis Village. Whilst Farp, I don't even remember where he died and where his shaders. Anyways, Farp is going over. He might be going to fungal, to Sploshroom. Yep, he's checking Sploshroom. This is another check. We could easily see some sort of progression. Item B at. And he's got Green Path Stag, which as we know is absolutely filled to the brim with many things. So that is actually very helpful to Farp, who has missed out on all of the things that homothety has found. Farp dying earlier on, so he cannot buy the...
Farp can get a goal with... Wait, 1 second, never mind.
Homothety freeing all grubs in Green Path and Fungal, and now leaving those locations to go to Deep Nest. Normally Deep Nest isn't this...
Village.
Normally we don't see Deep Nest this early in pieces, so Homothety is throwing a curveball at it. Whilst Farp is finally unlocking Sly and checking Salubra, so we're going to be seeing what is at them. And we might also be seeing Blue Lake skip. Going to Blue Lake might be handy, especially against Homothety, who is doing checks extremely fast. Oh wait, we can't see the... Oh, Farp is getting the maps with Rando Map mod. This has been agreed on between Homothety and Farp, and will help out Farp against Homothety a slight bit. finally collecting Vengeful Spirit. And now checking all of the items that he can collect. Homothety right behind Farp, just like always, but with all the extra stuff that he has checked. And with a very quick Rust Mother. Okay, we have a first Dreamer, which is just the extra Dreamer. And, Fab trying to understand where all of the checks he can do are. He's checking Soul Catcher, which we know is Soul Eater. As Homothety has already checked this. Homothety without his shade. Dying to the husk to do the shade skips at Blue Lake. That is always something that I am very intrigued happening, as Blue Lake can define or ruin a run. Especially Catacombs, which normally is either either a ton of stuff to check, or none at all. Homothety skipping the Dream Nail checks, though, going straight to City. I'm checking what he might get. He might be going for all 5 grubs in City of Tears. That is always a possibility. But following the checks that Homothety has already done. So these checks will be of no help to him, as Homothety has already checked them and they have not accomplished anything for him. Clark nearly skipping out on the chest, luckily he remembers. And is able to get the journal.
Homothety showing off a little more.
He's Homothety, what do you expect? Homothety finding Dreamgate, which, with 2 copies of Dreamgate, Dream Nail now, we might be expecting a 3rd one to appear. And that makes me curious about what will appear in White Palace.
Start from 1 HP, playing danger.
Of course, as a reminder, Dreamgate only works if you have Essence, which if a late game isn't really that problematic, as you probably have way more than enough to do all the everything that you need, but early on it's either an easy dream fight or a dream tree that gets done. A multi-chain relic just outside to find a simple key. This is easy logic, so this simple key will have to be used on unlocking the waterways, just in case any of the other keys are stuck in there. Whilst Farb is doing more green path checks, we've already seen Homothety do these, so again, Farb is not in any way, shape or form helping himself out by doing these. Tier at the 800 geo for Oro, so that's progression. It will open up the check to Isma's tier, which will either have to be done through Trampas, going down through waterways into Crystal, dashing to Isma's Grotto, or you could always do the ever so terrifying Spike Tunnel, whilst Homothety here is using the Primal Aspid to pogo up to Hornet, so
Gets it with no problems.
that is our second dreamer now.
Well, outside of logic.
I mean, yeah, Hera is outside of logic, as Hera doesn't need Monarch Wings to get. Which means that Black Egg Temple cannot have Monarch Wings in it. Unless the other two Dreamers that we haven't found don't need more wings to get to. Actually, I noticed just a second ago that any one Radiant boss will be also heavily random based. As they're gonna have to give a random check on God Tuner to actually get Radiant boss to appear. I'm already doing the Kingdom's Edge Dream Tree. Which isn't on the board. Oh wait, it is. The Kingdom's Edge route is on the board.
Does one need NKG, or does one need God Tuner to do NKG and God Home? Does anyone know in chat?
You need God Tuner to do NKG and God Home. You need God Tuner to actually get to God Home, I believe. Or to do anything within God.
I think chat disagrees.
And Mofty getting the Kingdom's Edge route and marking it. I'm after checking Colosseum. He might be going to Colosseum. Whilst Fab is trying to get to Blue Lake, he is getting the infected benchfly with him.
Nothing at column.
I'm after checking Pale Champion instead of it says 2 checked, so I don't blame homothety. And he's got Cyclone
Another
Slash.
Nilla.
Yep, that is his second nail art, which means that there's only 1 left for him to find.
Giving NMG vibes.
Now this is always very slow, especially with weak attacks, due to how absolutely terrible Pale Champion is. Or is it it's Pale Lurker, isn't it? It's Pale Lurker, what am I talking about? I need to get my terminology right. Pale Lurker digging into the edge of the platform and holding onto a journal, so overall not worth it. Nothing really to expand on goals. You could have easily gone for Cyclone Slash and then left, but that check is always useful. So, okay, so I haven't seen that before, but there is Crystal Dash of Essence. So both runners might want to get to that, although it is quite expensive, so they might always try to not have to do that.
How much essence was Crystal Dash?
641. So they might be aiming to get the clone, or to get the other copy. Barb now has both halves of King's Soul Charm, which means that once he has access to the Abyss, he can check Void Heart and I'm off to checking Weaver's Den. So far, quick focus is something that Sharp Shadow as well. Again, not on the board, but both of these are checks that normally could appear on the board.
Love key maybe?
None of them have decided to get Shaman Stone from shops though yet. Even though both of them do have 2 spells now. And have had them for quite a while now as well.
homothety doing a masterful duck run.
And Nail Master's Glory at Distant Village Stag, so at least we know where that is. Homothety surviving Dark Deep Nest, just flexing all over us. However, Farp is still the only one with Shade Cloak, so Farp does have the advantage that he could at any moment go to Queen's Gardens and do a ton of that stuff. He has the Aluba goal open to him, although that would mean beating Traitor Lord, and with what he has right now, that would be quite a pain. Actually, now that I think about it, Homothety hasn't actually checked Resting Grounds yet, has he? He's only used it as a stepping stone to get to Right Side City. So that was the first time we've seen what is at Resting Grounds, so that's quite interesting actually. Farp is checking the Rafters relic. Again, at the moment, there isn't really much that we can expect due to how little random goals. And Homothety has marked obtained 2 lifeblood charm, making Homothety have 5 goals now. Now Homothety is
Going
doing
for midway.
Dark Deepness, he's going to for Midwife, yeah. And getting Midwife as well. And the tracker decided to skip 5 altogether and move straight to 6. Homothety is just that fast.
Being Tharp right now, I can't imagine what they might be thinking homothety is down or has.
Homothety is just under halfway there. And so far needs to find some way of completing. He does know that Homothety is at has got Kingdom's Edge route, so he also should probably know that Homothety will go for Coliseum 1. Just like what he's doing now. I really hope that Farp does Soul Sanctum just like he is looking like he's doing, as this would be great. This would be something that Homothety hasn't checked yet, and he can get 2 checks at the end of it, which if he gets Dive could easily expand to even more. Also, neither of the races is anywhere close to the 5,000 spent Geo goal, so that is always something that Farp could get over Homothety. Even though Homothety will probably find some way of having the game edited around his liking. T-dash is going to be extremely important, as told by Quacksilver. There are 4 goals that rely on 2 of which are in waterways, so homothety does have access to waterways, and I don't understand why homothety hasn't. Oh wait, he couldn't have. Homothety doesn't have access to. Once any of the 2 races gets either Crystal Dash or homothety gets Isma's Tier, those 2 goals are most probably done. For check Isma's Tier goal and for of course Farp could do the skip as well, but I don't think he has practiced that skip a lot. Isma's growth is possible with Isma's Tier, but you need Trampass to access. In the meanwhile, homothety is finishing off Colosseum at 1 health. Luckily he heals back to 2. Still not in the clear though. Farp purchasing Pale War. So Farp is most likely upgrading his nail. And purchasing Shaman Stone. He might be aiming to get the spend 5,000 Geo goal. Whilst Homothety is struggling a bit. He is at 1 health. And masterfully sends back this gap though. There's a reason homothety is the one behind Rando. Farp, what are you doing? Farp, you can warp out of there. You don't have to kill him. Oh god. Farp is focusing on killing the sentry. But he's also seemingly attempting to obtain 15 grubs and get all of the grubs in City of Tears. He does have dive, so he might as well be able to. But Farp does need to get his game up as well. Farp does have to get his game up if he wants to beat homothety, as homothety has beaten Colosseum 1. Homothety getting Isma's Tears, so or not. Okay, that's interesting. Farp is going to Watcher Knights. Or is... No wait, he already went to Sanctum, so... Yeah, he must be going to Watcher Knights. He is having a bit of trouble navigating the room. Oh, he's getting the grub up there. Homothety is also doing this goal, but if Fab is fast enough, he could be able to get it. Homothety is, although, right on his trail, so... Okay, we're getting Pleasure House checks, so... Pleasure House has 2 checks that are very elusive, due to the fact that they require 2 simple keys to access. And it leads to City Storms tag, so... And Farp died trying to get to the grub. So that's a rip Farp. Homothety going up. Yeah. Homothety is also doing all the grubs, and he most probably will be able to get this without dying. Although taking the first hit there isn't that helpful to see. And yes, homothety cannot get all of the... Homothety cannot get all of the grubs, but... you can still get most of them. Also, homothety is checking Watcher Knight. Watcher Knights do hide free checks from the... and all 3 of them are randomized, so... this is something that I don't mind seeing. Fab does have the access to get full 20 Geo Rock and Kingdom's Edge, and a ton of other items. There are a couple of goals that he could easily get with Dive. But getting the City of Tears grubs is most probably one of the best ones for the time being.
homothety choosing not to go for check shape of wound immediately. It's not clear why he's waiting. The goals certainly look one-sided, but Tharp currently has better movement, or better spells. And slightly better movement.
Farb has yeah.
Shake Cloak
Farb
over
has
Mothwing
Desolate
Cloak.
Type and Shade Cloak, which are both very important in many different goals that they could get. But all that Homothety needs now is one more goal and all the goals that require Crystal Dash to get, and there really isn't much competition from then on. Hidden Station Stag at Soul Master is quite nice. We could see... No wait, we still don't know where King's Brand is. And Farp finding Descending Dark. Sadly that's not on the board. Oh, Hamadi
Gives
going
Homothety a
right
really big edge.
although not being able to get everything. Will Fab be able to get the... No, he wasn't. If he doesn't want to die, he will need to heal up. He will need to go through the area again if he wants to get the grub. Shouldn't be too problematic though.
That has to be just luck. Getting dive right.
Yeah, that is quite lucky on Marvel's side. And here Fab is getting his final... And he's got his second goal. And we have reached the 1 hour mark. And Marvel's is still completely dominating Fab. Fab is buying out... Oh... Fab is buying items to be able to get the spend 500 Geo gold. That's smart. And he reaches 5,000 Geo spent. Therefore leading to him having his third goal. I'm after getting Esma's tier, so he's most probably now going to go for... Yep, he's going to the Dream Gate that he set up right as he got the ability to. And is now moving up here to do this skip. Now this skip can be done either with Dash Master or if you have... Yeah, you can either do it with Dash Master, or if you have, or if you don't have Dash Master, you can use Vengeful Spirit or Abyss Shriek to stall you in the air, which lets your dash come back. So that is one of the ways that we do spike tunnels. And Homothety getting 2 more goals.
Homothety knows he can't use the spoiler log, right?
Homothety knows what?
That he can't use the spoiler log?
I mean, yeah, he does. He literally created Rando, so he
Right, it
isn't
was a
using
joke,
the
never
spoiler
mind.
log. The spoiler log is part of him. It defines him. And Homothety needs to warp out. And Farp gets Void Heart. Hopefully he doesn't mistake the goal on the board to be obtain Void Heart, because then we would have to unmark it off of it. Luckily he doesn't. If only Farp was doing Blackout, he's in such a good... Yeah, I can see Homothety doing Alubas and they are both things that Ismas really easily provides you with. And Homothety's still stuck in this area. Never mind. He is going through waterways. Doing all the checks in here. Getting his first white fragment. Whilst Farp is healing from all the onslaught that the enemies in this area are providing him. You've got to be very careful with these enemies. They are absolutely terrible to deal with. Luckily, Farp does have Shaman. Is he not doing? Yeah, he is. He's just. Both Homothety and Farp going in at the same time. Homothety being slightly sooner, but Farp does. And Homothety also has powered up Vengeful Spirit. But Farp does have Shaman Stones, so... And Homothety finishes off... Homothety finishes off just slightly quick than Farp.
Homothety can just get
Village
free
Stag.
goals. What is he doing? Prolonging the sunrise.
Homothety going off to talk to Flute Hammer. A Flute Hammer, Flute. This is one of those areas where pathing it is absolutely annoying due to all of these tunnels intersecting with each other. And Farp dies whilst fighting the flukes in the sewers.
You hate to see it.
That you really hate to see. And now we can see what God Tuner is. Lurian. Again, that would be very helpful if they were doing Blackout, but they're not. Just as a recap, in the last 5 minutes, Homothety has gotten a huge amount of goals and has pretty much done the same exact things as Farp has done. So Homothety has a way bigger lead over Farp than we could think it would be.
homothety can just win with the Geo Rock, Dr. Flute Hermit, and Check Shape of In.
He could also technically do a Lubers, which would require trait. Oh, homothety doing un and ignoring the Alupa completely. So yeah, that is probably the order of goals he's going to go. And homothety gets his 11th goal, he only needs 2 more goals. And only one of them is random now.
Homothety doesn't mark it.
Wait. Oh yeah, he just changed Shame Pavoon, but he hasn't. So
Even he forgets, I guess.
I guess so, yeah. We can't add it to the tracker yet because Alpha might be going down here to snipe the goal from homothety. So homothety might not have as easy of time. He might be forced to do a Lubers as well. As Farp, whilst here, should probably do the Geo Rock. There's no reason for him not to. And Farp being absolutely demolished by the evil thing known as the Primal Aspid. And then hopefully not dying to... Yep, he's fine for now. There's enough tiny hops here to provide enough soul for him to be able to do all of the dives down. Or not, he didn't get enough. I'm already having a bit of trouble dream gating out. But at Mouse Maker, I don't understand why he went to Mouse Maker. I guess it's to be able to see normally. I'm already also doing Darkroom here, which is an absolute pain, even for Homoth. And Farp still not being able to complete the Geo Rock dives, so you really do hate to see it. Now this Geo Rock, I remember when it's only sent out the small Geo pieces and how long it took. Anyways, Farp finally got his... Whilst Homothety is probably finishing on our Lubers, considering the fact that he is going to Dream Nail White Lady. Or actually he has 2 goals left to get, and one of them he just has unmarked. Now for any Crystal Heart based goals, he will need to get Crystal Heart, especially since for most of them there is no other way of doing them. For Hive, he's going to need to get Tramp Pass, which neither of our players has found yet. Yeah, I don't see any way that Farb could recover from this. Homothety just has the one goal that he wants on his mind, and he's going right there. Oh, Homothety is getting the... Oh, that's why he dream gated, because he was... So, yeah. I wouldn't really call this an F. Homothety did end up back in... Yeah. Homothety finally checking shape of a...
Tharp gets Green Child, or Grim Child.
Got Grimchild. However, it doesn't really do much for us in this. And Grimchild itself was just a bunch of geos, so again. Homothety now killing the Uma. And all he's got left is for Uma in not Uma, Aloba in Lake. So whilst that's happening, Farb is doing Crystal Peaks. Homothety has to make sure that he doesn't kill this. No wait, he doesn't. He can't get to it without. And Homothety did.
That's game. GG.
Yep, Homothety has completed all 13 goals that he's planning to get done.
Hello.
Hello, Homothety.
How was it? I got sniped on that last city, Rob. I did not expect that to happen, but I guess Tharp also made the gamble on dive and soul sanctum. Or
No, I
did he
think he
find
got
it
it
somewhere else?
I think he found it outside.
Where did he find that? He had Dive before he went to Soul Sanctum, and he found his second copy there, so he had Desolate Dive for that part.
Huh. Oh wow, he's in Crystal Peak right now. Oh, I guess because he found dive.
Yeah, he found Dive, and it is quite late to do Crystal Peak, but
Yeah, I didn't really have much luck with checks at all. I was hoping to find Crystal Heart to do a few of the acid skips, but it did not pan out. On the other hand, I got Shade Soul and Shade Cloak pretty easily. It was kind of a generous seed, I guess.
C dash was that essence.
Yeah, I decided to skip essence kind of on the spur of the moment. And it was kind of silly too, because I was skipping essence thinking I was going to go and do the the spike tunnel, the waterways, and then I got there and I remembered that I couldn't actually get across the acid. It was really heartbreaking. Then the other silly mistake I made was everything about the Joni Stark room. That was bad.
Hello,
But
Fab.
once I tried
Hey.
it, I was kind of committed.
Oof. Rough
So
seed.
Fab, how was that race?
Honestly, the two things that I'm terrible at in this game in Rando are ones where you get the claw super early and ones where there's hella grubs because I have no idea where they are.
This
Oh,
was kind of
Fab.
an annoying card, wasn't it?
Totally, yeah.
Like I didn't really know what to do when we got claw because there was no really claw goals. You just sort of had to search and hope for the secondary movement to turn up.
Exactly.
Anyways,
Where'd you
I'm
end up getting
the
it?
spoiler log for this seed, so we can go over that. Check anything that might have not been
Man.
found.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
I definitely
can go
missed
ahead and
some.
generate it.
I think I could have gotten the Isma's checks, both of those, way earlier than when I saw you mark them. I was like, oh wait, I could have done that like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, I didn't have Geo for most of the seed because I took a very silly Mantis Claw death. A death checking Mantis Claw because I forgot which side the Mantis Youth was on.
Hmm.
Yeah. So both of you went Dash Master first. And then both of you decided to not do the False Knight and Brooding Morlock goal until way later when Farp decided to kill Brooding Morlocks.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been quite confused at that. Like, this is the first race in a while where both runners haven't done the Brooding Morlock goal.
Yeah, I kind of felt like conceding that goal and just trying to take advantage of the early movement lead. I don't think this was a card for that kind of strategy because it didn't have many checks that were unlocked by Claw and Dash, but I think that there are some lockout cases where it's worth having the extra minute on your opponent and skipping that goal.
Totally. I think I made a questionable decision to go back and get it because I had already gotten Claw and I saw that you hadn't got it, and I figured you were delaying it, in the hopes that I would do it. But I thought that you might realize that I skipped it as well and just go back and snag it. So I kind of jumped back there.
Okay.
Another thing that homothety always had extra goals that Farb didn't do, and at the beginning homothety was racing behind Farb to do the goals that he was doing, whilst homothety has already done things like Green Path, whilst Farb was still finishing off Fungal.
Yeah.
There's sort of a nice comfort when yes, I'm certain that I got Claw a minute ahead of Tharp, and I know that I got Mothwing Cloak ahead of him, so I can sort of, take Green Path and route it optimally without backtracking and not be, rushing Massive Moss Charger and then having to backtrack for grubs or,
So when you
whatever.
got Claw, did you just go straight for Cliffs?
Yeah, I immediately went to Cliffs.
We saw the same with Farb.
Yeah, I kind of wasted a lot of time in Cliffs because I tried and failed to do the Joni Stark room, and then I got Mothwing Cloak and I decided to do it again. But
And you pretty much did it first try, didn't you?
yeah, it's a lot easier with Mothwing Cloak.
Nice. I definitely wasted the same time going back to Malek while you're doing that. So
Yeah, but I think that and if I had gotten Mothwing Cloak and kept on going into Green Path, I would have really opened up a big lead there. And actually, Green Path was kind of loaded with Dream Nail and Vengeful Spirit and all of the stuff there. It was kind of just free after going there.
Yeah. Green
Makes
Path
sense.
did have a ton of stuff
Okay, so
around.
I pulled up the spoiler log for us. So we have Grimchild in the Rancid Egg and Crystal Peak, King's Brand at behind Troopmaster Grim. So Voidheart would have been a disaster. We have Monarch Wings at
Farb
Mantis
already
Swords.
did have Voidheart. Like, he had Voidheart, he had 3 of the 4 copies.
Yeah, I meant checking Voidheart because of that
so
King's Brand.
yeah,
I didn't have
King's
Brand there.
Brand
Yeah,
would
exactly.
be absolutely terrible. Glowing Womb was at Rancid Egg near Quick Slash, which
The one that
Farp
you
did go
dive
there
for.
to get the rock.
Ooh, the lantern was behind 23 grubs and elegant key. So, yeah, just a kind of a nasty seed in terms of the late items. I think that if you were trying to find any of that stuff in particular, you would have been searching for a really long time.
Yeah.
So we were kind of lucky to get a card that was as static as it was.
Totally. Yeah, I think I got really behind when I saw you like marking the green path Vengefly King in goals, because I was just kind of deterred for going the green path. I was hoping that there was going to be some
Yeah.
sort of like King Station stag, Distant Village stag, like something just to pop out so that I
And
didn't have
then
to
you
follow
got
you
Green
around.
Path Stag.
Yeah,
I know.
ultimately,
and then I just had to do it.
I think the thing that could have equalized this or brought Tharp back a little bit would be if Dive or Isma had been a little more out of my path. Because I just sort of ran into it while I was clearing Kingdom's Edge. That sort of gave me my endgame win con really early.
Right.
I'd say that if Dive didn't appear in Soul Sanctum, then Farp would have had way easier of a time catching it. As
Yeah,
it appearing there led to you being able to do all the checks there and do all the checks that Farp could do. Whilst if it didn't appear, then Farp would have Dive, whilst you wouldn't.
Yeah, that's
So that
definitely
would have
true.
led to a advantage movement.
Totally.
Overall, Farp did have the advantage movement with spells early on. He had all three spells, whilst he only had Vengeful Spirit and Howling Race. And whilst you had Shade Soul, Farp had Descending Dark, so you had two different types of damaging options. So
Yep. Yeah, I'd say that the win really came down to two factors. One was the green path that you got way ahead of me, and two is that you're 10 times better than me.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I think that
overall, the
was a
muscle
long shot
movement.
from the beginning, but
Oh, absolutely. No, it was a fun race though, actually. So.
yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed getting to show off a bit of the skips you don't really see as much in Rando because they are too risky or don't nearly justify themselves.
Yeah, like spike tunnels going into
Yeah,
those types of
exactly.
skips.
Even though I had the simple key, I just felt obligated.
Nice.
Oh well.
You would still need to use simple key on that first because easy logic.
Yep.
Did you forget Shape of Voon, or check Shape of Voon was the goal for a bit, or what happened
I
there?
forgot to mark it. Yeah,
Oh, I see.
I got it intending to get the goal, but then it did not connect in my head to actually mark the goal.
Was Isma's over in Kingdom's Edge somewhere, I'm guessing?
Oh yeah, it was at Dash Slash. That one nail art.
Got it. Yeah. Alrighty.
All right, I guess that's it.
Yep, that was a
Good
great
game,
race.
guys. That was amazing.
Yeah,
Both of
thank
you did
guys.
great. Farp, you did your best, and you did absolutely amazing trying to stay behind homothety, and you did demolish the. And I remember seeing in the chat earlier the don't let homothety 13-2 you, and you let him 13-4 you, so at least you got double the goals that you were.
That was my goal was really 5. If I could get 5, I'd be like pretty happy with my performance.
Ironically, you nearly had 5. If you
Yeah.
had checked that Rancid Egg, you would have gotten 5.
Yep, exactly.
I don't know if you caught this, but you were like 20 seconds ahead of me on getting the last grub in City of Tears. So that was
sweet.
actually really close, and good job on that one.
Thank you. I had to consult my collector's map a few times.
You also died at the Watcher Knights grub
Yeah,
once,
I did.
so
was
that death
unfortunate.
took you.
Well, fortunately, it sounds like he wasted the same amount of time chasing me there, so I added 20 seconds to him, thinking that he could still get that goal.
Alrighty. And see you later.
Yep. So we are going to be saying goodbye now. There's going to be
Bye.
another race. Let me quickly get the timetable up.
6 p.m. tomorrow.
6 p.m. tomorrow. Is that EDT or what time?
That's
EDT.
EDT.
Okay, so 6 p.m. EDT tomorrow. There's going to be another race, and we'll hope to have you join. We will hope to have you join that.
Yeah. I'm racing absolutely Ash. I'm sure it'll be a fun time. Alright, bye
In
everyone.
comparison to this race, that's going to be much more fair, as both of
Hopefully,
you are
yeah.
going to be